This is Smita Vajpayee, TGT Bio, Kendriya Vidyalaya number 1 Armapur Kanpur, presenting her video on the topic Why Do We Fall Ill? The topic has been selected from the NCERT Book of Science, Class 9th, Chapter 13th. Let's start our topic with a motivational thought. A healthy outside starts from the inside. It means that if you feel healthy by yourself, then only you will be considered healthy by the others. In COVID-19 pandemic, one thing that came as universal truth is that health is our most important asset, and we all should take utmost care of our health. All other assets of life seem to be quite insignificant when compared to health. Now the question is, do we really know the correct meaning of health? Most of us believe that being free from diseases simply means that we are enjoying good health. But actually, it is not so. Being disease-free and being healthy are two different states. Let me make it more clear by citing the correct definition of health as stated by WHO, that is World Health Organization. It says that health is a state of being well enough to function well physically, mentally, and socially. That means, besides being free from diseases, one should be mentally sound and socially acceptable. He or she should have harmonious relations with other members of the society. Now let's discuss about the word disease. This word can be taken as disturbed ease. This word literally means being uncomfortable. You might have come across the names of several diseases children like cough and cold, tuberculosis, typhoid, malaria, cholera, etc. Well, let's put them in different category on the basis of their duration in our body. We can categorize them as acute disease and a chronic disease. Some diseases last for only very short periods of time. These are called acute diseases. They last for only a few days. Since an acute disease, which is over very soon, will not have time to cause major effects on general health of a person. Let's think about common cold, as shown in the picture, which all of us have from time to time. Most of us get better and become well within a week or so, and there are no bad effects on our health. As a result of cough and cold, we do not lose weight, we do not become short of breath, we do not feel tired all the time. But on the other hand, if we get infected with chronic disease, it lasts for a long time, even as much as a lifetime. Chronic diseases have very drastic long-term effects on people's health. For example, diseases like tuberculosis, as shown in the picture, elephantiasis, etc. If a person gets infected with a chronic disease such as tuberculosis of the lungs, then being ill over a long duration of time will make him lose weight and feel tired all the time. If we compare the effect of acute and chronic disease on a school-going child, we can say that a child may not go to school for a few days, but if we get infected with a chronic disease, then what happens? It makes difficult for the child to follow what is being taught in school, and it may also reduce his ability to learn. In other words, the child is likely to have prolonged general poor health if he has a chronic disease. Chronic diseases therefore have very drastic long-term effects on people's health as compared to acute diseases. Let us summarize these two types of diseases now. It is written there, acute diseases stay in our body for a short time period. It gets over very soon. It does not cause major effect on the general health, for example, common cold. On the other hand, see the chronic diseases. These last in our body for a long time. Its treatment takes a long time and it causes prolonged general poor health. For example, elephantiasis. Students, diseases are also classified on the basis of their spread from one person to another. Yes, we are going to discuss about the infectious and non-infectious diseases. Diseases where microbes are the cause are called infectious diseases. This is because the microbes can spread in the community and the diseases they cause will spread with them. On the other hand, there are also diseases which are not caused by infectious agents. Their causes vary, but they are not external causes like microbes that spread in the community. Instead, these are mostly internal, non-infectious causes. For example, some cancers are caused by genetic abnormalities. A very common disease, high blood pressure, is observed nowadays. It can be caused by excessive weight and lack of exercise, but it is not an infectious disease. You can think of many other diseases where the immediate causes will not be infectious. So children, keep pondering and add to the list of non-infectious diseases. There are some differences between infectious and non-infectious diseases. Infectious diseases are also known as communicable diseases as it is shown in the slides, and non-infectious diseases are also known as non-communicable diseases. Regarding the communicable diseases, you should learn that they are transferred from a patient to a healthy person. They are caused by pathogens and they spread through some agency such as air, water, food, contact, insects, etc. On the other hand, we have non-communicable diseases. These diseases cannot be transferred from a patient to a healthy person. As we have just given the example of high blood pressure, it cannot be transferred from a patient to a healthy person. They are not caused by any of the pathogens and they do not spread through any agency. There are several causes of the diseases. It can be infection, it can be poor health of the person. Poor health may be due to lack of proper and sufficient food. Lack of proper food means it may be the lack of public services. The person may not be getting clean water to drink. And diseases can also be caused by genes. Such diseases are known as genetic diseases. There are different groups of organisms that cause infectious diseases. We have already studied about them in class 8th also. So children, these are the different groups of organisms. The first group is of the viruses that cause common cold, influenza, dengue fever, AIDS. Then another pathogen is bacteria. The bacteria that cause typhoid, cholera, tuberculosis and anthrax. Let me make a point here very clear that all the bacteria are not harmful. So only we should be afraid of the bacteria that cause disease. There are some good bacteria in our body. They are present in our gut and they help in the digestion of food. Another pathogen that causes disease is fungi. It causes many skin infections. Then another member of the group is protozoa. Most common diseases caused by protozoa are malaria and kala-azar. In addition to these microorganisms, there are some multicellular worms. They may also cause some disease to you. Intestinal worm infections are very common, as well as elephantiasis. Now children, in the last slide, we have studied about different groups of organisms that cause disease. So all of them are causing disease. सभी तो हमारे body में disease cause कर रहे हैं. So why this categorization is important? It is very important because these categories are the deciding factor in the kind of treatment to be used. The presence of these organisms produce different signs and symptoms in our body, which help in the diagnosis of a disease by the doctor. And unless the disease is diagnosed, it cannot be treated. So this diagnosis, it is a very important step towards the treatment of the disease. Now, when we talk about the treatment, we should know that there are two principles of treatment. The first principle is to reduce the effect of the disease. This principle is not very effective. The other principle is kill the cause of the disease. हम यहाँ पर disease के cause को ही remove कर देते हैं. So obviously this one is more important as compared to the first one. For example, think of a disease like someone is suffering with loose motions and vomiting. Now, if we apply this first principle, what would happen? The doctor will give some medicines that will give him a little bit of relief, but this will not make the pathogens go away. And after some time, the symptoms of the disease will again appear in the body because we have only reduced the effect of the disease. On the other hand, the second principle says to kill the cause of the disease. This is very effective because it kills the pathogen. It eliminates the pathogen from our body. So this principle of treatment is quite effective, and this is basically done by giving the antibiotics to the patient that are pathogen specific. It is also said that prevention is better than cure. So I would also like to discuss the principles of prevention. There are two ways in which we can prevent the disease to occur. These are general ways and specific ways. In general ways, it is related to the public hygiene, and we should control it. If the disease is airborne, it can be controlled by avoiding crowded places. We shouldn't go in the crowded places. That's what we are doing at present during the COVID-19 pandemic also. Second thing is, if the disease is waterborne, if the pathogen is entering the body through water, then what should we do? We should always drink clean water to drink. And the third is to avoid the vector. Vector, this term is very common in science. It is the carrier of the disease. Vector means the organism which is spreading the disease, not causing the disease. Disease is caused by the pathogen, and vector is the carrier which is carrying the pathogen from the body of a patient to the body of a healthy person. So we should maintain clean environment, and by maintaining clean environment, we should avoid the vector of the disease. Now coming to the specific ways. Specific ways to prevent the disease is to immune system strong, is to keep your immune system strong. With the help of a strong immune system, we can prevent the disease. And nowadays, everybody is looking for the ways to improve the immunity of the body. Now, which part of the body provides immunity? There are white blood cells in the body which are of various types, and lymphocyte, it is a kind of white blood cell. You have studied about three kinds of cells which remain in our blood: red blood cells, white blood cells, and corpuscles. So you know that white blood cells fight the infection. Now these lymphocytes, which is a kind of white blood cell. What is lymphocyte? It is a kind of white blood cell. It becomes very active every time the pathogens enter our body. हमारे जो lymphocytes हैं वो इन्फेक्शन होते ही, यानी कि पैथोजन की जैसे ही एंट्री होती है हमारी बॉडी में, ये बहुत ही एक्टिव हो जाते हैं और वो ऐसे केमिकल्स रिलीज करते हैं जिससे कि हम पैथोजन को अपनी बॉडी से एलिमिनेट कर सकते हैं किल करने के बाद. Now children, the question is why antibiotics are not effective against the viral infection. This is the most rapidly asked question in the classrooms. Now since we are not in the classroom, so I am here to answer this question before the children ask me. The answer is because viruses do not use biochemical pathways like bacteria. वो बैक्टीरिया की तरह अपने बायोकेमिकल पाथवेज का यूज नहीं करते हैं खुद के नंबर को मल्टीप्लाई करने के लिए. वायरसेस यूज मेटाबॉलिक पाथवेज ऑफ होस्ट. व्हाट डज इट मीन? अभी थोड़ा सा आंसर कॉम्प्लिकेटेड लग रहा है, लेकिन ये जो वायरसेस हैं ये जब हमारी बॉडी के अंदर एंटर कर जाते हैं तो हमारी बॉडी के जो सेल्स होते हैं उनका यूज करते हैं खुद के नंबर को मल्टीप्लाई करने में, खुद के नंबर को इंक्रीज करने में. Therefore, antibiotics are not effective against the viral infection. But still, some children ask that if antibiotics are not effective against the viral infection, but sometimes it is observed that when we go to the doctors prescribe antibiotics in case of common cold. Common cold, it is a disease caused by the virus. तो जब वायरसेस के ऊपर एंटीबायोटिक्स का इफेक्ट ही नहीं होता है तो कॉमन कोल्ड की जब हम दवा लेने जाते हैं तो डॉक्टर्स हमें साथ में एंटीबायोटिक्स क्यों देते हैं? चिल्ड्रन, एंटीबायोटिक्स आर ओनली गिवन टू कॉम्बैट द बैक्टीरियल इन्फेक्शन इफ इट इज प्रेजेंट अलोंग विद द वायरल कोल्ड. वो डायग्नोसिस करके पता लगाते हैं कि आपकी बॉडी में सिर्फ वायरस का इन्फेक्शन है या उसके साथ साथ किसी बैक्टीरिया का इन्फेक्शन भी है. वायरस के इन्फेक्शन के लिए एंटीबायोटिक्स बिल्कुल भी इफेक्टिव नहीं होती हैं स्टूडेंट्स, लेकिन अगर वायरस के साथ साथ आपको कॉमन कोल्ड हुआ है इट इज बिकॉज ऑफ द वायरस. बट इफ वायरस के साथ साथ आपकी बॉडी में कोई बैक्टीरियल इन्फेक्शन भी आ गया है तो डॉक्टर उसको डायग्नोज करते हैं और बैक्टीरियल इन्फेक्शन को फाइट करने के लिए, उसको एलिमिनेट करने के लिए, बैक्टीरिया को हटाने के लिए वो आपको एंटीबायोटिक्स सजेस्ट करते हैं. One more thing the children ask is, how does a vaccine protect us from the disease? वैक्सीन लगाने में ऐसा क्या चीज हमारे बॉडी के अंदर चला जाता है कि हमको डिजीज नहीं होती है? Simply we think that if we are vaccinated against a particular disease, we will not get it. हम यही मान करके चलते हैं. तो वैक्सीन में ऐसा कौन सा जादू है, कौन सी ऐसी मेडिसिन भरी हुई है जो कि हमें जिंदगी भर फिर उस डिजीज से बचाती रहती है? शॉर्ट टाइम पीरियड के लिए नहीं, पूरे लाइफ टाइम के लिए कहते हैं कि अब आपको तो वैक्सीन लग गया है, यू विल नॉट गेट दिस डिजीज. सो यू विल बी सरप्राइज्ड टू नो दैट अ वैक्सीन एक्टिवेट्स आवर इम्यून सिस्टम अगेंस्ट अ पर्टिकुलर इन्फेक्शन और डिजीज, एंड दैट इज व्हाई अलग अलग डिजीजेस के लिए अलग अलग वैक्सीन प्रिस्क्राइब्ड होते हैं. अब वैक्सीन में क्या चीज आपकी बॉडी के अंदर डाली जा रही है, जस्ट लर्न अबाउट दैट. दिस इज वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग. वैक्सीनेशन जो होता है, this is done by introducing a mild type of infection or killed infectious microbes into the body. Vaccination में हम mild type of infection, यानी कि या तो वो microbes नंबर में बहुत कम होते हैं या फिर उनकी जो डिजीज कॉज करने का जो पोटेंशियल होता है वो बहुत लो होता है. हम ऐसे माइल्ड माइक्रोब्स को आपकी बॉडी के अंदर इंट्रोड्यूस करते हैं. तो जैसे ही आपकी बॉडी में माइक्रोब्स इंट्रोड्यूस किए जाते हैं, आप सोचते हैं कि वैक्सीनेशन के अंदर जो वैक्सीन मेरे अंदर डाला जा रहा है उसमें कुछ मेडिसिन डाली जा रही है जो हमें बीमारी से बचा रही है. नो, नॉट एट ऑल. वहां पर तो हम उस डिजीज को कॉज करने वाले माइक्रोब्स ही आपकी बॉडी के अंदर डालते हैं, लेकिन वो माइक्रोब्स इतने वीक होते हैं, माइल्ड होते हैं, दैट दे आर नॉट एबल टू कॉज एनी इन्फेक्शन इन द बॉडी. बट द lymphocytes of your body identify them as some foreign object. वो सोचते हैं कि ये कोई फॉरेन चीज है, ये मेरी बॉडी का पार्ट तो था नहीं, ये अभी अभी आया है, तो वो उसके अगेंस्ट में एंटीबॉडीज डेवलप कर लेते हैं। तो दिस इज अ काइंड ऑफ बीफूलिंग द लिम्फोसाइट्स। एक तरह से हम बुद्धू बना रहे हैं लिम्फोसाइट्स को, क्योंकि जो हमने माइल्ड माइक्रोब्स डाले हैं वो हमारी बॉडी में इन्फेक्शन तो कर ही नहीं रहे थे, लेकिन लिम्फोसाइट्स को लगा कि ये तो इन्फेक्शन कर सकते हैं और उन्होंने एक पर्टिकुलर एंटीबॉडीज बना ली, जो कि फ्यूचर में अगर अब आपके पास स्ट्रॉन्ग माइक्रोब्स भी अटैक करेंगे तो आपके लिम्फोसाइट्स ने पहले से ही वो एंटीबॉडीज बना रखी हैं जो आपको इस इन्फेक्शन से बचा लेंगी and you will be safe from the disease. So I will sum up this with the last slide which gives you the proper definition of immunity. Immunity हर तरफ आजकल वर्ड चला हुआ है कि हमें अपनी इम्यूनिटी को हाई रखना चाहिए ताकि हम इस पैंडेमिक में अपने आप को सुरक्षित रख सकें. So you should know the particular definition of immunity. It is the ability of an organism to resist a particular infection or toxin by the action of specific antibodies or sensitized white blood cells. So with this slide, I would put an end to this video and I would like you to do some task. My task is to differentiate between the active immunity and passive immunity. एक बार फिर से ध्यान से सुन लीजिए. I would like you all to know about the difference between active immunity and passive immunity. With these words, I am bidding goodbye to you, saying that all of you should boost up your immunity, stay healthy, stay safe. Thank you.